Remember this guy? His name is Matthew Rodney. In June of 2022, following an incident at a popular hotel where he worked, Matthew was fired from his job. On July 4, 2022, after receiving no support from members of the tourism sector, he staged a one-man protest calling for change. After turning up alone at Sam Sharp Square, Rodney proceeded to the main gate of the S Hotel carrying placards before his protest was discontinued by the police over the lack of a permit. Mr. Rodney, who was clad in his hotel uniform, stood with placards highlighting classism, unpaid overtime, sexual harassment, abuse and disrespect, among other issues in the hotel sector.
I stand up for myself because of injustice I face in my country where I born and grew up. And I can't face this, so I have to stand up for myself. You understand? So I have to stand up for myself with my life and everything when I have to just do it. You understand? So I can't really wait for people until people come. I have to just do it and make people see it first. Actually, we can't have a big sector like this without a union. There's nobody to represent us, nobody to talk. So like this foreign investor could like treat us anyhow, and it's like, you know, there's nothing coming up. There's nobody to represent us. There's nowhere to actually go to voice a concern or nothing, you understand? So my move from here is to actually get people on board who actually come in with the proper advice or the proper infrastructure, whatever they can come in with and come on board. For we have to have a union. You understand? We need a union for all hotels workers. So that's my ultimate aim right now. So the only job I will ever take in Jamaica again is to work on the hotel union board for tourism workers. So that's my ultimate aim.
Fast forward to 2024, and the issues that Matthew highlighted are once again coming to the fore. The only difference this time is that hotel workers have begun to wake up and realize that they are the backbone of the sector, and that if they stand together, they cannot all be fired. The revolution started at the Royalton Negril Resort, where staff stayed off the job for at least 2 full days, leaving guests without food, water, and other basic amenities.
We've had no water, no coffee, no towels, no toilet roll. Food is very, very scarce. If you're not fast, you'll last. No restaurants, no security, no lifeguards. Literally, I should have stayed at home.
Days later, workers at Secrets and Breathless Resorts staged a protest calling for increased wages. The placard-bearing workers converged at the entrance of the compound as they chanted. And just when the tourism minister thought the industrial action was over, it garnered steam. On November 15th, workers at the Iberostar Hotel also staged a protest over wage-related concerns. This time, tourism officials were on site to intervene.
They complain about the payroll system. The payroll system will be fixed like a company. We have an industry to run, we have guests on the inside, it's a lot of money. And remember, we have to keep the hotel running so that people can...
And days later, the battle cry was picked up by staff at Excellence Oyster Bay in Trelawney. Line staff, including bartenders, room attendants, and waiters, walked off the job. Among their issues are low wages, lack of overtime pay, and non-permanent positions, which they say undermine job security. And just when we thought it was over, the mantle was picked up by workers at Jewel Paradise Cove and the Bahia Principe Hotel. In the midst of the protests, Prime Minister Andrew Holness had this to say.
And you may be seeing that quite frequently there are reports of industrial action in the tourism industry. We, as an administration, we have grown tourism. We're moving from 2.5, 3 million to now we are over 4 million visitors. And we are growing the revenues. But as tourism is growing and expanding and adjusting, the workers, they are justified in also seeking their own household and their own remuneration and their own benefits to grow in proportion with the growth and development of the industry. This administration respects the workers. We hear their plight. We understand their issues. And I have met just last Friday with some of the investors in tourism. And we had very frank conversation. And what I am pleased with is that the investors and owners and managers, they understand this point. They understand that tourism is about happiness. That's what you sell when you're in tourism. Minister Bartlett has been tasked to bring the sector together, to have real dialogue about how we're going to ensure that our workers in the tourism industry, that they are happy. There are those who want to take political advantage of the grievances and are fueling industrial action for political point scoring so that they can get political power.
What the Prime Minister failed to address is the systemic exploitative nature of the tourism sector. With a third of Jamaica's hotels and resorts owned by foreigners, the industry has always been focused on profits and not on sustainability for the local people. Even those hotel chains that are owned by locals have operated under an exploitative colonial-style model. Whether it's paying workers less than $2 an hour, preventing them from taking tips, taxing or splitting tips where they are allowed, or any of the myriad of unethical principles that abound in the sector, there is hardly any difference between local and foreign hotels. But it can be hoped that this revolution that started with a one-man protest will lead to the change that is so badly needed in the tourism sector.